ध्येयं सदा परिभवग्नमभीष्टदोहम् तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरञ्जनतं शरण्यं भृत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपालपवाप्तिभूतम् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्. Namaste. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam session. We've been doing the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We went through some overview last session and we'll continue today. Few chapters. The way that we've been doing is not mostly sloka by sloka, but the collections of sloka in a chapter wise. The traditional way that we do at our temple is one session, one sloka. That's how the classes happens usually. That means Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 slokas. You can imagine when we can finish Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's not the, this is what we are doing is giving you an idea of what Srimad Bhagavatam is, get an idea about it, but not skipping important things. We'll be covering everything pretty much, but not sloka by sloka. As we see some chapters which are important, then we'll go into more number of slokas. That's what we've been doing here. In the last session, we saw pretty much the overview, and then there's a conversation happened between Narada Muni and Brahmaji, where Narada Muni is having some discussion with Brahmaji, and then Brahma is going to respond back because there were some questions about who the creator is. So in the usually people have this idea about the concept. There are different concepts of belief and faith in the creation. That's where most of when you take into spirituality in the Sanatana Dharma, there is no confusion about few things. What are the few things? We are all Atma. We are all Atma. There's no confusion. There's many number of schools of thoughts, philosophy, so many things like that. But there's no confusion on one basic thing. That is, every school of thought accepts that we are all Atma. We are soul. That means we are different from the body that we are currently situated in. We are different and the body is different. That's one important thing we all commonly agree upon. Okay. And what are the other things that you can think could be common? What? Huh? There is God. Okay. And actually, that I reserve that for the very last, but that's okay. There's God. Okay. Because that's where the real difference happens mostly. There's no confusion on Atma. There's no confusion about karma. Every schools of thought believes there's karma. Because of karma, we exist. Right? And there's no confusion about rebirth, janma, punarjanma. There's another birth. There's no confusion about all those things. Right? Every school of thought also follows that the Vedic version of, again, this could be a conversation of debate, but mostly everyone follows rules and certain things, standards of how one should behave. Um, all those things are pretty much standard. The difference happens in just what you said. Now, everyone believes God, everyone believes in Paramatma. The question is, yes, who is it? Who is it? The Supreme. And that's where the question comes, and that's where, I believe in this, you believe in this, and some may say that I believe in multiple gods. I believe in a feminine God, right? Because feminine God, because how can you take birth without mother? Simple, very simple logic. Without mother, you can't take birth. Therefore, the supreme God should be a mother. Another one says, well, mother cannot produce herself, offspring, need to have a father. Therefore, just be a father who should be supreme. Though there could be multiple fathers, many fathers, and it comes down to boil down to a point of there's a belief that there's a Trimurtis. Yes, you have some young kids here, youth here. Have you heard about there are three gods which create, and then one to maintain, and another one to yeah destroy. Three gods, and who are they? Who creates? Brahma creates. Who maintains? And who finishes everything? Lord Shiva, right? I was just I was suddenly Lord Shiva came into my thought because I was sitting here on the high elevated thing and sitting like this, and this is like a snake over here. I was trying to adjust the snake. Just it is so uncomfortable. Just think around you having a snake around your neck, 24/7, even with your family sitting next to you. There'll be a snake watching you and sitting. It's not an easy job. Parameshwar is very special. So therefore, people have this idea of three murtis. Therefore, Narada Muni is asking a very valid question. Brahma, I heard that you are the creator. Therefore, could you please elaborate? So he goes on number of questions. We'll see all those things. And then what's going to be the response back by Brahmaji to Narada Muni? So this is a this second canto, and then pretty much half of the third canto. Um, you got to take it slowly and digest it. And then after starting from the third canto, second half of the third canto, until end of entire Bhagavatam, guess what? Stories. It's all stories. Therefore, the best teacher or the preacher who is giving lecture, they should make use of their time very valuably. That means when you have your students coming in, the first half of the time should be mostly on the philosophy and actual subject matter. Then it can be relaxed. Why? Starting only you start telling jokes and do all sort of stories. Second half, anyway, we are all going to be tired. That time you start telling the actual message, you won't be able to hear. The same technique Srimad Bhagavatam follows also, that very first load the people with information, right? They are alert and they're going to hear. And then after that, you can just go on to your relax mode. Therefore, you got to be really attentive in hearing until we pass through this third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The subject matter is little deep and very valuable messages are hidden into these chapters. Therefore, when Narada Muni is asking, Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tat Vijnihi Yad Jnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Therefore, Narada Muni is asking, the chief among the demigods, that means Brahma, is considered to be the topmost Devata. He is higher than Indra. Indra is king of the heaven. Many people work for him, but then even greater than Indra is Brahmaji. Brahma is the forefather, father of everyone. Is a main, is a creator. Okay, that's where the question is going to be coming. Therefore, Narada Muni is asking, I have some questions. Could you please help me understand this? Tadrupam ed adhisthanam yataha srishtam idam prabho yat samstam yat param yatcha tat tattvam vada tattvataha. My dear father, why Narada is asking children here? Remember why Narada is calling Brahma as father? Is Narada's father Brahma? So you all have to remember and recollect. We went through the stories of Narada Muni. In that we saw how Narada was born out of Brahma. Okay. So therefore, he is asking this question: Yet Rupam, yet Adhisthanam. Adhisthanam means the base, foundation, Adhisthana. Yataha Srishtam, Srishti, Idam Prabho, the creation. Yet Samstam, yet Param Yacha, the supreme. So he's asking this question that what is its background, how it is created, how is it conserved, and under whose control is all this being done? Is all this being is done? So is quite curious. Narada Muni is quite curious. Some people is not very uh, they are result oriented than the process oriented. There are two types of people. One people is only concerned about result. They don't care about how they get the result. Another type of people are concerned about, not that they're not concerned about result, but they're also concerned about the steps involved in getting to the result. Somehow or the other, I want the result is one character. Huh? Uh, Take a chit or a copy or whatever it is, pass the exam. Doesn't matter. However it is, we have to pass the exam. Another one is no, I want to understand what I'm going to do. Therefore, already two characters. Therefore, Narada falls into another one. I want to understand. I understand everything has been created, but I want to know the details. I want to know the details of. Can you all hear in the back? Can you all hear? Yes. Okay. All right. So he wants to understand how this is all getting created. How is all getting created? Do you know how this get created? The phone get created? Do you know? Do you have a phone, cell phone? Have you ever thought about how it's been made? Do you know that each and every part has its own industry and hundreds of employees working on it and kindly come to a place to get assembled? After assembled, there's someone is shipping it to another country and it comes. So many details are there. And we are using the end product. All we are using is just end product. That's all. We don't know how many people are involved in this one. What are the materials being used? How many brains have gone into this thought process of making this compact phone? None of those things has been thought about it. So we don't think about it, but we are using the product. Right? Like that, Narada Muni is asking the question. I want to know. Sarvam hi irat bhavan veda bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu karamalaka yat vishwam vijnavastitam tava. So, my dear father, all this is known scientifically because whatever is created in past, why is he going and asking Brahmaji? Is because Brahma is obviously creator. He created in the past. He is going to create in the future. Even now, currently, he is creating constantly. That's his program. He constantly keep creating. Creation is fully involved. That's his project to work on, right? Therefore, he has complete understanding. Therefore, now Muni is Narada Muni is asking this question to him, the question of source of your knowledge. So you you're sick and you go to a doctor, go to a clinic, and you're having a conversation with your doctor, and the doctor says that he checks you, he says he identify the root cause of your disease, and then you ask a question to the doctor, doctor, how do you know all this? How do you know all this? Where do you get this knowledge from? Well, since my birth, I have this knowledge. Since the birth I have this knowledge. There are special cases like that. Mm, but very rare. I don't know if you want to go to such doctors and get treated like that, right? Therefore, the doctor is telling, well, like that Narada Muni is asking, I know you create all the time, you keep creating, but where did you get this knowledge from? How do you know all this thing to create, right? Have you ever tried cooking at your home? Okay, have you tried something new all the time? Have you tried something new? When you try something, how do you know what you're going to put and how do you put? You have to put in this particular item when you're making cake or a sweet, you have to put sugar, not salt. How do you know? It's just common sense. Oh, oh, that's a nice answer. Common sense. So that means you already know the difference between sugar and salt, even though they are white in color. Common sense. Where did you get the common sense from? You have experienced in past, right? You experience the past. You know the texture of the sugar and you know the texture of the salt. Even though knowingly people put salt into the sweet, that's a different thing. Like that, Narada Muni said, what's the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? And is your what's your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? From this itself, we can understand is quite thoughtful. Narada Muni is thoughtful. How is it possible for you to do everything? How can you do this one? Where do you get all these ingredients from? Did you go to Home Depot to buy all these different ingredients? Where do you get it from? First of all, how do you stand yourself? What is it meaning? What's the question that he's asking? That under whose protection are you standing? What do you mean by standing? Right? So we in many things in our life we take it for granted, right? We don't really value that what we have. So therefore, he is asking, Narada Muni is asking, how do you stand yourself? Meaning, who's holding you? If you're the creator, right? Did you create? You need a place to create. Yes. For anything to happen, you need to have a place. First thing is you need to have a place, need to have the skill, you need to have the manpower, you need to have all those things that you need to make that item. So many things are involved. In first place, where did you get all those things from? And how do you get the place even? If you're going to be the creator, you need to have a place to start creating things. Yes. So what about that particular place? Was it existing before? You understand? Was it existing before or that was created by you? If you create, how is it possible? Where were you before to create that place to sit and stand? Therefore, he asking a very intelligent question that means something would have been existing before, you're just using it. If it is existing before, how did how did that come into existence? That means you did not create that. Was there someone else greater than you who has created that and given to you start using these things? Make sense? Okay. He's asking this wonderful question. As the spider very, can you read?
As the spider very easily creates the network of its contact and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others, so also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without any other's help.
There's self-employment, right? There's something called self-employment. You can have your own small business or do whatever like that. So the question is that is giving an example that a spider web. The spider, where does this to create the web, right? Where does it get its things from? Do you know? Huh? Huh? Within, from within, it just creates. And when it's want to destroy that, what it does, what it does, It can just take things back again. And when it want to maintain by itself, by other creatures, other things, it uses the same web, right, to protect itself. Therefore, he's giving this example of a spider, like how the spider can doesn't need anything else from outside. Are you also self-sustained, where everything is coming from you and everything going within you? So he's asking this another question also. Naham veda param hi asmin na param na samam vibhu nama rupa gunair bhavyam sad asad kinchit anyatah. You want to read this?
Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal or temporary, it is not created from any source other than that of your lordship.
Anything that you see, anything that you cannot see, certainly everything has to come from you, Brahma. He's just telling, appreciate, telling that everything has to come from you. There's no question about it. Therefore, could you please tell me in more details these things? It just I want to understand more. And now the Brahmaji is going to start speaking. Okay, Brahmaji, any questions so far? Brahmaji is responding to the to Narada's question. Wonderful, nice questions you ask. Nice set of questions that you ask is not just going to benefit you, is going to benefit everyone. Is going to benefit everyone. So he's telling the answer here. Hmm? He's telling, I create. You want to read?
I pray after the world's creation by his personal exclusion, known as the Brahmajuti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness.
So he's telling, I create right after the creation of the Lord. Okay. Therefore, there are two types of creation. There's a primary creation and a secondary creation. Right? Remember these things when we read in our Bhagavad Gita class. There's a primary creation and a secondary creation. That's what he's talking about. Brahmaji is talking here. The primary creation is done by the Lord, and the secondary creation is what I am taking care of. Right? Mostly, and there are other creations also. Besides that, Brahma is doing his creation. And then we also do our own creation. Within the family, we have our offspring, our children produce another children, etc., etc. Right? Those are the different things. But then there's primarily everything can be categorized into two things. There's a primary creation and a secondary creation. Therefore, I take care of the secondary creation part. That's what he says. Right? Next, who wants to read? Any?
I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, the personality of God, whose invincible potency influences them to calmly the supreme controller.
Tasmai namo bhavate vasudevaya dhimahi. So now he says, reveals, saying that it is Vasudeva. Vasudeva is none other than Krishna himself. Vasudeva, right? Son of Vasudeva. It's called Vasudeva. So by his mercy, I've been appointed. I'm able to do my job, what I'm doing right now. Hmm? Um, then he goes um, into a prayerful mood. Narayana Paraveda Deva Narayanan Gajaha Narayana Paraloka Narayana Paramakaha Narayana Paro Yoga Narayana Param Tapaha Narayana Parajnanam Narayana Paragatihi. Now he says this is Narayana, the Supreme Lord, who is actually the creator. He is a creator, he is a maintainer, he is a Lokapati, he is a goal in everyone's life, right? So different meditation process, whatever we are trying to do, ultimately it has to please the Supreme Lord, Srimad Narayana, right? So that's it goes into the prayerful mode, and we are all part and parcel of Narayana. We are and parcel of Narayana. Next, who wants to read? Siri, you want to read this? Okay. You want to read? Inspired by him, inspired by Krishna, Narayana, I discover what is already created by him under his vision as the all pervading super soul. I am created by him only. I am also created by him. Yeah, I am also created by him. So when Brahmaji is telling I am also created by him, what is being created here? Is Brahma getting created? Or what when he says I'm also created by the Lord, what is that is what is Brahmaji is telling here that is getting created by the Supreme Lord? Question: is Brahma getting created means is Brahma Atma getting created or Brahma's body getting created? That's the question. Okay, can Atma be created? Okay, yes or no? Okay. कालं कर्म स्वभावं च मायेशो मायया स्वया आत्मं यदृच्छया प्राप्तं विबुभूषुर उपाधते. Over here, find out, is this material or spiritual? Their material is get created. It is nothing to do with spiritual. Those three are material, right? So the thing has been told here in spiritual and Vaikunta, these three modes doesn't present, is not present, doesn't exist. This three mode doesn't exist, right? Okay.
Is that person abode of the Lord? Material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So, what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees.
There's no conflict, there's no confusion, there's full of cooperation only happens there. Full of cooperation. There's no difference of opinion, conflict of interest. They all work together for one purpose, to serve the Supreme Lord. And therefore there's no clash. Something very important for us to also learn from this particular sloka is that how to be successful in what we are doing. Okay? In a family, family can be successful if the goal is one. Goal is one. Goal is towards one thing. In an organization, the organization can function successfully if everyone has one goal. The nation can progress if everyone has one goal. That's all it is. Very simple. We have one goal, someone sets one goal, and everyone works towards that particular goal. Now the question might come, this is understandable in Vaikunta because they are all realized, they attained moksha, they can be like that. But what about come to a reality? We are all individual people, yes? We have our likings and dislikings, and for example, what is your favorite food, Deepa? Oh, you said that they're the big. Okay, I'm sorry. Just pick one. Pick one. She said, "Oh my God, where should I start? Where should I start from? Where should I start from? Yeah, one item. Hmm? Gulab jamun. Gulab jamun. Vedana, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? Say, now they know where I'm driving to. They already understood where I'm driving to. They're becoming smart now. Yeah. No, he likes a dal which is little watery. Uh, yeah, sambar. Okay, sambar. He wants sambar to be watery, but the other family members like sambar to be little thicker. Same family, come on, sambar problem, sambar problem. I was just listening to one clip today morning, but by one Swamiji. He was just saying this husband and wife, they've been having conflict, always screaming at each other, always fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. They couldn't take any further. So they went to a counselor to meet with, they agreed and they went to, let's meet with the counselor and then try to sort this out. If not, we have to make a real decision, how to continue our life. They both went. The counselor, right? They call. Okay. The counselor, he was sitting, and their job is to hear both parties crying out and screaming. It happens. He was just hearing. This lady was hearing, um, and then finally, after everything was poured out, the counselor asked the husband, the man, telling, "So are you feeling really miserable in the way that the life is going?" He said, "Of course, it's too much. Can you tell me what is that you're really feeling that you cannot take it?" She doesn't respect me. He has to come to reality. That's okay. He said, she doesn't respect me. Well, can you tell me one incident that you felt so? It's not one incident. I can list hundreds of incidents. But one simple thing that constantly happens every single day during the breakfast. What is that? The wife was listening quietly. So in the breakfast, we have a loaf of bread. She cuts the edge, last part, the last part, edge, the crust, the last part. Always for years, she's only give that last part. All the time she does it. This man is from US. Okay, husband is US, wife is Italian. Okay, now you'll see the difference. Always gives this last part. Very disrespectful. Why can't she give me the better part from the center, actual bread? The wife was couldn't take that any further. She poured out, crying, crying, crying. And the counselor turned and said, Why? What's the problem? Why can't you? Why? I mean, you just said, what's your response?" She said, "I'm coming from Italy. In our country, we fight for the edge part. We love the edge part. I sacrificed all my years giving the edge to my husband." And when the husband heard this, he started crying. Now he started crying. The council job became, just watching this. These two were crying each other, looking at each other. "I'm sorry." Husband said, "I'm sorry." Because in US, center part is taken. In Italy, the edge part is great. Problem of communication. There's a communication problem. Communication problem. Why I told this one? Why the story? Huh? Goal. Goal. So therefore, it's very important that we understand everything can be worked nicely, even if there's a difference. We we rather than we hold on to the position, we have to come to interest. What is interest in the family? Rather than holding on to his own position, one comes to a common terms of understanding what is the interest behind this, what is all behind this. So then we can run the family nicely and organization nicely. Everything will go on nicely. That's why we don't see any such thing in Vaikunta, because the goal is one, to serve the Supreme Lord. And then this is the last chapter of the second canto, hmm, where all the questions can be answered. Anything that you can think can be answered in Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam answers everything. Srimad Bhagavatam answers everything. Therefore, he says, Purana means Purana Lakshana. Purana Lakshana means Purana should have 10 topics in it. And then when the Purana, there's how many Puranas? The 18 Puranas are there. Right? The 18 Puranas are divided into 6 and 6. Puranas that's in mode of goodness, Puranas in the mode of passion, Puranas in the mode of ignorance. They're all nice. Okay. Now the Purana to be called as Puranam, complete Purana, it has to have 10 subject matters completely. And that's when it's called Purnam. Purnam, complete Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam is called complete Purana because it has all these 10 topics. All these 10 topics. Hmm? So what are the 10 topics which is now is giving an introduction before Bhagavatam starts? So these are the 10 topics. Sarga. Sarga means creation. Creation should be discussed in the Purana. In many Puranas, out of 10, 5 will be discussed. 5 will not be discussed. There are always some numbers will discuss, some are not discussed, but that's how it is. So now here, another point to be remembered is therefore when you read various Puranas, now we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam. You go to Vishnu Purana, you go to Garuda Purana or any other Purana, you will see the same audience. Shaunaka Rishi, of course, Parikshit will not be there. There's a specific to Bhagavatam, right? But in Naimisharanya, they all gathered together. Now they are asking this question. Are, how many times these people ask the same questions, right? They don't get bored, but that's how the Puranas are. So Sarga is the very first thing. Sarga means the creation. It happens at the beginning of Brahma's life. This is called Sarga. Sarga, where Brahma is not born yet, is going to take birth. Before that, whatever is getting the place is getting ready. You're going to the government, getting the approval, you're purchasing the land and getting the everything's lined up. That's all you're just doing. Approval process is all done. To construction to start. Architect is ready, the plans are ready, everything is ready. That's the primary thing you have to do. Right? You don't go start buying stuff and then go for approvals and planning and things. Right? You have to have the primary ready. Therefore, Sarga is the very first thing. The Supreme Lord is the one who does this creation of all these 24 elements put together. Maha. And then Visarga. Visarga has multiple meanings also in Sanskrit. In here, this is the secondary creation. What happens at the beginning of Brahma's day? The first one is before creation, and the second one is Brahma is now ready. He got everything that he needs. Now he's going to start doing the secondary creation with all the things been is been given. Everything has been given to him. Now he's putting everything together and he picks this person, takes this person. He's a very good Atma, very Shantam, very nice, done a lot of good things. Put him into this body, send him to St. Louis and call him as Ravi. Right? Now Ravi is ready now. Now next one, next Atma. Hey, you come on. He picks all this Atma, sees his history, this karma, this karma, this karma, this bad karma, this karma, everything is done. Put here. This is what you take a birth. So he sends off line after line. This is what's happening. Everything gets created. Brahma does all this job. All this job. Everything has been based on their person's karma. That means based on that person's karma, meaning we should understand all we should already know that. That means the Atma already performed went through the creation process one point of time. Now they're getting created again because the dissolution happened. At that point of time, no body, this physical body, and nobody exists. And now everything come into the existence. And Brahma takes that responsibility. Brahma has been delegated this responsibility by Krishna, Narayana. He created Brahma. You take in charge of this one. you continue to do this one. He doesn't get into the nitty-gritty details of micro monitoring things of what Brahma does. You are a good person, you take care of this one. That's how the things happens in the second. Sthanam, the entire creation by the Lord is to enable the conditioned soul. Sthanam means now Brahma creates. Now someone has been created. After created, what do you do with them? You hold it in their hand. All this Jivatma has been given a body and everything is ready now. You can't hold it in their hand. You have to put them in some place. Sthanam is needed. Sthana means a place. Place has been needed. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam talks about the creation part, the place, the where these things happens, and it talks about different planetary systems and Vaikuntha and all the different places. Poshanam, for the devotees of the Lord, Poshana refers to the Lord's causeless mercy and protection. Protection from hunger is the lowest form of protection which the Lord offers to the conditioned living entity. So, Poshanam, these 10 topics will not be titled in Srimad Bhagavatam. We should understand this one. You cannot go now home and start referring. Is there a chapter called Poshanam? Is there a chapter called Visarga? Is there a chapter called Sarga? You won't find those things. It is all there in a different chapter, different stories and things like that. So the great acharyas and learned people, they all categorize this whole thing into these buckets. These are different buckets, right? Portion. So the protection of the Lord has been spoken over here. And then Manvantra. There are 14 Manvantras. Manus, Manu. Huh? About them will be discussed in this Puranas. Purana talks about the Manvantras. Who are the Manvantras? Which Manvantra, at which Yuga, all Kalpa, all those different things will be spoken. Details are given about Manvantra. And then Uti, the conditioned soul forgets that the Lord is the eternal. You want to read? Can someone please read? Eternal protector. Yeah. So how this they get forgotten about their position, how they get caught into all the different things. Okay. Ishanukata. Ishanukata. Ishanukata is the entire in the whole purpose of in other words, Ishanukata means the story of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord is been discussed in the Puranas. Why the stories has to be told in the Puranas? Because that's the only way where we all can get attracted to the Lord and go back to Him. Otherwise, there's no other way, there's no other means for us to get out of this repeated cycle of birth and death. We have to hear, we have to hear the katha, the stories of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord descend into this world, incarnate into the world, and takes different avatars, different forms. So we all can hear these stories and get attracted to one of this avatar and develop our bhakti towards the Lord and get rid of our karma. That's number 7. Nirodha. As we have briefly mentioned before, the entire material creation offers two facilities to the conditioned living entities. The living entities may either utilize it full to fulfill their desire to lord it over. Nirodha means completely nullifying, nullifying your karma. So you've been given we all been given a chance. We all been given a chance. What's the chance has been given? The chance of how you use your current faculties or facilities that have been provided to us. We can use the facilities that's been given to us, further get entangled into this material world, or try to work to completely free up from this material world. That's whose choice is that? My brother's choice? No. My parents' choice? Yes or no? No. Therefore, please understand this is a very important key point. Point is that we are all individual. When it comes to spirituality, religiosity, whose choice is that? Whose choice that should be? Louder. You have any doubt about it? It has to be individual. We all, the marriage is made in heaven, right? And all those wonderful things happens. We are, I want without eat without her. She doesn't eat without me. We all one family. We sit together, eat, and all everything is wonderful and fine. But no one shares karma. No one shares it. You can share your pizza with others, pulao with others, chapati, paneer, everything you can share with your family members. Can you also share a 10% of my karma? You take it. That to which karma we will give if we know. That is why it is very hard to differentiate. Karma is a big bundle, right? It's very hard to say how many percentage of this karma and that karma. It's very hard to say. Therefore, we cannot share how we share our other things, material things. We cannot share the karma. It's an individual account. It's an individual account. Therefore, wisely you choose what you want to do. Being within the family, helping each other, whatever we can do. All those things are responsibilities of family members. But at the end of the day, it's us who have to pay for it. Therefore, it's important we work consciously for our spiritual progress. There's nothing called as selfish, being selfish here. This is nothing as selfish. We have to do this one. There's nothing wrong in doing so. One has to work towards spiritually progressing as we go through this one. So we can, otherwise, we get into a more entanglement of suffering in these things. If we can help others, well and good. Our family members, well and good. If not, there's nothing is going to change. It's really nothing to worry about it. Nothing really to worry about it. Things will happen on its own time and space. That's all. We have to just continue doing what we have to do. Okay. Ninth topic will be discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam or in any Purana is Muktihi. And quite familiar, everyone is quite familiar with what Mukti means, is a liberation. Liberation means not that one we become one with God, we serve God. We serve God. That is called Mukti. And there are five types of Mukti. All those things will be discussed later as we go through in Bhagavatam. But the ultimate Mukti that the Bhakta will aspire for is to go back to the spiritual world and over there continue serving the Lord. Right? Continue serving the Lord. That's the ultimate goal of everyone's life. When you go back, we want to continue our service. Oh, I thought at least after going back, I can just relax there. Even going there, I have to serve. What's the use of going there and serving? Is there any time I get some? I mean, everyone is working hard. Everyone is working hard. And we all look for a time to relax, a time off, vacation. Even in a week, you want your own, time, space, right? Because why? Too much going on. Therefore, you want to have some space among yourself. If you haven't done that one, we have to do those things. Have to have some space. So we rejuvenate physically and mentally also. right? We have to have these things, sort of things, as a regular thing in our life. We have to do these things. Therefore, I was thinking that when I get moksha, I will get a lot of space where I can relax. Don't need to do anything, just simply relax. But here's the thing, when we do services or any services for that, anything that here, how far, for example, you all come and make chapatis and puris at the temple. How many puris you all make in a week when you come there? 200. We started initially requested them to come and do, say, 100 puris. They kindly agreed, thinking 100 puris, no problem, we can do it. And that's how usually we all start the service, saying there is nothing, just come and do little. And then they also come, they do 1 week, 2 weeks, 200, 200 changes to 300. And then that's how, I mean, when things get increased, you never get tired or get tired. At one point of, can you 24 hours make puris? That's the question. Simply 24 by 7. Your service is to make chapatis, puris non-stop. Can you do? Cannot do. We cannot do. Why we cannot do? Forget about doing this one. Now, jamun. How many jamuns can you eat at a given stretch? That there's a story in Prabhupada's time, Srila Prabhupada's time. Prabhupada was not involved in this one. In one temple, in his ISKCON temple, there was a brahmacharis. These brahmacharis had a competition. Brahmacharis had a competition. Competition is how many jamuns can one eat? How many jamuns can one eat? Bucket of jamuns was made. Bucket full of jamun, right? So many minutes. One was eating 10, stopped. Another ate 20. Another ate 25, stopped. And then one ate something and he couldn't take any further. He went to bathroom and started throwing out. One ate 50 jamuns and he became won the contest. 50 jamuns, this is not joke, real. 50 jamuns non-stop, continuously, one after one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. And jamuns cannot be eaten like rasgulla. You know how you eat rasgulla, Varun? You're not good in eating. You should ask Bengalis how you should eat. Please tell me, rasgulla is soaked into the sugar syrup. You take it, they squeeze it little, and then you eat it. That's how they take and eat rasgulla. Jamun, you don't squeeze it and put it inside. It is soaked fully. You have to eat it just like that. Imagine 50 jamuns you are eating. And after that, he couldn't proceed any further. Done, flat, done. But for your kind information, when you go to Vaikunta, when you return back to Vaikunta, jamun has been given to you. Do you know how many jamuns can you eat? You'll be amazed, and this will inspire you to go back to Vaikunta. And, and will be become a strong, sincere devotee because you can have unlimited rasgulla. I mean, jamun. Sorry, jamuns. You won't feel filled up. You won't feel tired. You won't get some sort of any sort of. You'll be happy continuously, ball after ball after ball after ball. Just goes on, non-stop. No indigestion problem also. Never. That is Vaikunta. Are you wanting to become a nice devotee or not now? See, someone wants to go to Vaikunta for what reason? To eat jamun, unlimited jamun. Krishna will fulfill that desire also. Because jamun, if it is offered to Krishna, that is prasad. Therefore, he can eat unlimited prasad. There is no wrong in eating, going to Vaikunta and eating prasad. That's all it is. Questions. So, what we saw today is a discussion between Narada Muni and Brahmaji. Narada Muni asked a number of questions about, especially about the creation, and Brahma concluded, gave answers, precise answer, specific answer, I've been created by Krishna. I was not self-existing. I was created by him, and I'm continuing my service. And we saw the 24 elements. What are the 24 elements? How these things created. And Parikshit Maharaja set of questions, and Shukadev Goswami answering. Before answering that one, he was just going through this is what the Purana is. And the whole idea of this is Brahmaji tells to Narada Muni in the past, saying that now you tell this thing of Bhagavatam, what I told you. He tells everything, so many things, to others. And therefore Narada Muni tells Bhagavatam to Vyasadev. Vyasadev narrated to Shukadev Goswami, and Shukadev Goswami now telling the stories of going to tell the stories to Parikshit Maharaj. And Suta Goswami is narrating this to Shaunaka Rishis. Right? That's how the whole thing's setup is so far. So the coming session next week we'll see the further questions of Vidura coming into the picture. Vidur. Vidur is the younger brother of Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Dhritarashtra. So Vidur is going to get introduced next class, next session, next Saturday, and also Maitreya Rishi, and also one more personality, Uddhava, a cousin of Krishna. These are the two personalities going to come into the picture next session. There's going to be a beautiful conversation among them, and we'll see those things next time. Any questions, discussions, clarifications, doubts, corrections? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. If anyone is new here, so I see some faces. You can give your email address to Ashok Prabhu right here. You can get added to the distribution list, mailing, and we have a WhatsApp group. We get all those things communicated there as well. Thank you, and Hare Krishna. Please forgive me for any offenses.
We have to ask Ravi, Ramaji.